Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We're going to talk about the Atomic Mass Games roadmap, all of the Star Wars Legion updates, and these things are fire as indicated by the background because there's some exciting stuff. X-Wings in Legion, there's so much more. We're going to get to that. I just want to dive straight in and start going because there's so much to get through because we watched it live. I was there streaming it. You guys were obviously very hyped. There's so much, but I had an interview with the Wills afterwards, and we talked. We got some questions. Great interview. There's so much to talk about. I feel like it was like kind of information overload, and there were some things that kind of I think I sort of overlooked at the beginning. So I want to talk about all of the stuff for Star Wars Legion that they showed us. Starting with the Jedi Council, which does look to me like it's going to be one of the most intense and amazing packs the Republic has ever seen. This is easily going to be a must-buy. And the interesting thing is when you get these leader packs for all of the other factions, there's at least one leader that like completionists will have already had. And this is the first one that you get no duplicates, and it does make me think that at least one leader in here will be duplicated in a future Battle Force box or something like that. I'm looking at Plo Koon. I'm thinking we're going to get a Wolf Pack box at some point, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, really, these are all new characters. We get a look at Mace Windu. He looks intense. He's 3-1-2 for his 3 red, 1 white, 2 black in there. He has Vapod Mastery. He's got Surge to Crit and Surge to Block. We don't know what Vapod is yet, but somehow it's adding white dice, something that you can use via attack or defending. You can activate Vapod Mastery. And my thought is it deals somehow with how many wounds you have taken. It's supposed to be I think it's going to be very similar to Maul. As evidenced by his 1 pip, this party's over. You can deal yourself 1 to 3 wounds. And then when you're using Vapod Mastery, you can add red instead of white defense or attack dice. So that tells us that Vapod Mastery somehow wants you to have wounds, and also somehow adds white dice, and this card turns them into red dice. So theoretically, I don't know if there's a cap or if it's just however many you're missing. So if Mace Windu with 6 health, if he's down to 1, I don't know if he's adding 5 dice at a certain point, or if it caps at 3. Either way, he still already rolls 6 dice with his lightsaber. So if he's adding what I'm going to guess is at minimum 3 red dice with this card to that becomes a tremendous attack. He's already got Surge to Crit in there as well. Really strong. And I expect no less from Mace Windu. That looks very cool. Shaak Ti and this is really interesting the way that they're showcasing how they tried to make all these Jedi Council members different. She is there to support primarily if you want to bring mercenaries in. She's also an operative instead of a commander, I'll point out. There's 2 commanders, 2 operatives in this pack, and it's a cool way to bring all of the Jedi into like regular builds, or to bring a lot more of the Jedi into regular builds. So quick thinking is good. She has aid for non-Republic units. So again, your mercenaries that are coming in, she's going to do that. She's got allies of convenience built in. She's still got charge and deflect and immune to pierce. She's also got Makashi Mastery, which is also a real nice one to have. But her card Unity wins wars, buffs, gives extra tokens to mercenaries. So she's all about wanting to have mercs in your army, and that is pretty cool. And I wonder if there's going to be more merc packs, especially with the movies and stuff, like Embo kind of being featured in the Mando. I wonder if they're going to do more mercs. It's kind of cool. Looking forward. Obviously, I think she's going to work with Bad Batch, right? So, cool stuff. Ki Adimundi will be pretty cool. He's got a Taru Mastery, also charged Danger Sense, which is really interesting here. And we got to look at his Force of Will, which is a counter target spell. And instead of spending this spell's casting cost, you may instead... Wait, no. Sorry, wrong Force of Will. Let me check my notes. Okay. No, but this one is you can give you can remove suppression off of allied units and re-ready your force upgrades. I'm assuming he's going to have at least 2, if not 3, force upgrades, and he's able to kind of get those back with this card. He seems pretty decent. We don't have his upgrades or his point cost, though. So, I mean, I just think Danger Sense with red dice naturally is going to be really good. And I think that's going to be very impressive with this guy. But yes, but only 4 dice for his weapon, so he's going to be more of a defensive commander. Plo Koon, talk about defensive. Operative, also. But yes. Oh, he's got Distract, so he's just like, no, fight me. You know, don't fight them, fight me. He's Charge, he's Defend 1, Deflect, Direct, Clone Trooper, Infantry, Inspire, Sheehan Mastery. It's just, dude. And when he's issued an order, he can then with his command card for I don't believe in chance, he gets the 2 free Distract actions. I mean, Distract's already free for him normally, but then he gets to do 2 free Distract actions right away during the command phase. And then he also gets to move when his other guys move, so he can stay with them and force people into attacking him. He looks really good. And then he also has a command upgrade, so presumably he has at least 1 command upgrade slot for 5 points. It's, you're not all the same to me. Yes, so this gives somebody else retinue for Plo Koon. Very cool. I like him a lot. And not only that, with the Jedi High Council, and we have a lot more to talk about beyond just Jedi High Council, but there are also some neutral command cards that they can do, which is very cool. And they are getting individual upgrade cards, which is going to be awesome. And we can really only see Shaak T's, but like it looks like she can go in a Merc unit, right? Like she can go in anywhere that takes that slot, but at the same time, it does say she just has to be into a Republic army. So like she can literally go into a Merc unit, which is really weird. Like she can join, she can be like, come on, Pikes, you now have a Jedi in a Pike squad. What? You know, like that's I don't know, unless I'm misreading it, but like that just looks really fun. I like how they're making these different. And I also really like that you're getting some extra cards. You're going to get a lot of cards in this pack. This is going to be a really, really good pack. I'm very impressed. Okay. We also got a little bit of a look at the Leaders of the Separatist Alliance pack, because we got to look at Trench. And he's giving people ploy tokens. That's one of his things. He's got Caught in a Web, which is a special command card he can do, which is going to hand out ploy tokens. He's also got... it smells like I smell fear, and it smells good, and that also lets him do more with ploy tokens, and he gets to do some very fancy things like maybe shuffle a face-up order back into the pool and do all kinds of stuff. So he's very much a disruptive. Like I always kind of thought of him like a little bit like Thrawn in a way, like the Separatists' version of this master strategist guy. And he's doing a little bit of that with these ploy tokens. So he's using ploy tokens in a variety of different ways, which looks interesting. We got Savage Opress. We got to look at him as well. He is going to come with 2 different versions, and he also looks great. Red defense dice, 6 health, 2 courage. We are getting a Shadow Collective version and a Separatist version. The main difference between those 2 is he's going to have a retinue with Maul versus retinue with Dooku. I like it. And you can still run him and Maul at the same time in either, theoretically, but they'll probably work better if you're running them both in Shadow Collective, which is going to be a good way to go. And, oh yes, we shall start with Revenge. Is a Maul and Savage Opress 1 pip. It's Savage Opress's card, issues both him and Maul in order. And also you can get one of Maul's cards back with it, which is kind of cool, especially since Maul has some really solid cards, and you might not want to, you might have to make some tough choices. So you can, if you can use one of Maul's twice, that's a cool thing to do. I like it. It's pretty groovy. And also, it looks like, considering the other folks we're getting in here, we already have their command cards. We're getting a For the Cause, it looks like, which is kind of just a generic Separatist Alliance 1 pip that you must have, a commander has to play. But it issues a commander and 2 operatives for a 1 pip. So you're getting 3 orders for 1, and then it also gives them out surge tokens. So that's kind of cool as well. And this would be a good one for, like, thematically for Dooku to do Asajj and Savage, or Savage and Maul, or something like that, which would be really fun. We also got to look at the Han and Chewie version of this, and I didn't realize. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be looking at the Han Solo and Luke Skywalker on Tauntauns, and there's some remarks that I'm going to make when I do this unboxing about I wonder how this will work with their command cards and stuff. And looking closer at this right now, it makes me wonder how this is going to interact, because it's Han and Chewie. It's not named. The unit card for Han and Chewie is not named Han Solo unit card. It's not named Chewbacca unit card. Like, this is like a double up, like this is a 2-person unit card, which is interesting with the equip Han Solo Reckless Smuggler and Chewbacca Courageous Co-Pilot. So might not work the way we want it to work, and I imagine there will be some specific Han and Chewie command cards that aren't going to give you as much crossover with the version of Han Solo that has joined the Rebel Alliance. So, got to see more about this. Got to see what the Han Solo, presumably there'll be 2 individual cards for this Han and a Chewie upgrade card. This is a very, very light teaser. There's a whole lot more that we need to see to really figure out what this whole unit is going to look like. But this is a kind of a hint that it's not going to be what initially you might have thought when you knew they were making another Han and Chewie. And since I do sometimes film my videos slightly out of order, keep this in mind if you watch my Han Solo and Luke Skywalker on Tauntaun unboxing, where I go into waxing speculation about what some of the new command cards could mean for this version, because things are filmed out of order sometimes. All right. We also have, we have Bark Speeders. We have Jedi Barks that is coming, and we get a look at Anakin on the Jedi Bark here. They give us some more teasers. It looks pretty good. He's going to have cover 2. He's going to have independent for 2 aims or 2 surges. He also immune to pierce, reposition, and speeder 1. Speed 3 on the Bark looks good, and he's got the lightsaber and the twin blaster cannons. So it's going to be fun. And he is actually Anakin Skywalker, so again, command cards should certainly apply. And then we have the Jedi Knight that has also, they give us he has aid for Clone Trooper, and he is also a commander, by the way. We have Evasive Action also, which is a command card. It does say Mounted Jedi General, and I'm really curious, how all that's going to work. This is kind of cool. It's got Obi-Wan on there too, right? We didn't get to see Obi-Wan's card. The Guerrilla Troopers, we do have confirmation. They are a red save rebel unit. Now, they are special forces. According to the unit card, they are not core, like we had initially thought, but they are a red save rebel, which is certainly nice. And I think a lot of people were hoping Rebel were finally going to get a red die core. At the same time, if we did, that might kind of take over, right? So it's still, but it's still nice to have some Rebel troopers with red saves. They have flexible response 2, independent aim 1, and infiltrate. So we don't know the upgrades or the price point yet, but we get at least a little preview of what they might look like. We got some painted versions of the Imperial Mud Troopers, as well as the other unit that's going to go with them, the Wet Weather Gear Stormtroopers. Again, these are slated for Q4 of 2026, but we didn't get actual unit card previews of these just yet. But what we did know is that the Empire is getting yet another battle force for the 224th Armored Division Army Box. This one it looks cool. And you're going to get both the Mud Troopers and the Wet Weather Troopers in here, and a Special Edition Imperial Officer. And it looks like this one will also take the Gav tank and for a new battle force. So again, this is going to be kind of like a standard battle force box, which looks really cool. It definitely does. So, but strangely, we didn't see like a Rebel counterpart version, or another new Imperial version, or another new Separatist Battle Force box. I'm sure more of those are coming. We'll talk more about when. I think we'll see that towards the end of the video. The big news, it kind of shifted during the roadmap when we get Mandalorians in a new army box for Star Wars Legion. And that's right, folks. Mandalorians are coming to Star Wars Legion, and they're going to finally be not just a battle force, but a series of battle forces that they're basically their own army. There's going to be lots of different battle forces within the Mandalorians. You've got Maul's loyalists, or the Mandalorians. You've got Clan Kryze. You've got the Covert from the Mandalorian with the armor. You've got it's not Death Watch, but it's Clan Saxon, and then of course you've got Bo-Katan. Oh, Clan Kryze. I already said Clan Kryze. I meant to say Clan Ren. I'm trying to think of Sabine's last name. But yeah, you've got a lot of options, right? And then also you're gonna be able to make your own faction as well. So very cool stuff. We've got the Armorer that's coming. We've got Din Djarin that's coming in this Mandalorian army box. Now, Din Djarin we already have, but this is an alternate version. Again, they do these. This army box is going to have an alternate sculpt for Din and Grogu. The army boxes usually have like an exclusive miniature that's like a custom sculpt just to those, so that's a cool extra bonus for picking it up. If you don't already have Din and Grogu, this is a great way to pick them up. If you do, then it's an alternate sculpt. And he is going to be using, it does look like he has the dark saber in this one, so maybe we'll get some cool stuff there with him. Now, the Mandalorian troopers that we're going to see here, there's a lot of different versions of them. For example, here's one of the versions of the Mandalorian Initiates that are, you're going to get 5 in a core. They're going to have Surge to Hit, red defense dice, but no Surge to block. So not like your traditional Mandalorian hero with full Beskar. I think of this as more of an initiate that doesn't have full armor yet. They have probably the helmet, but maybe some of the patching, like you saw in Mando in the Mandalorian season 1. He didn't have full armor right at the beginning, so he was probably closer to an initiate as far as his gear at that time. So, no impervious, no surge to block, stuff like that. But those are your core, right? We've got Mandalorian warriors as support for the fire support, and there is support with four models and for support, and then there are a detachment for Mandalorian warriors. So if you have a Mandalorian warriors option with duelist and impervious, hey, these guys have more of their gear. They're maybe they're not quite complete, but they have a much more. So this what gives them impervious, but still not the surge to block, right? And then you have the support for Mandalorian warriors, which are a heavy weapons team, impervious and sharpshooter 1. We'll have to see what all upgrades. I mean, we got a lot of little previews of different Mandalorian options, but then also you're going to have your clan specific Mandos as well, like Clan Kryze veterans, which are mercenaries that can go also in Republic and also in the Rebels, which is kind of cool. I like that. And they'll have Jump 2 impervious. Mandalorians are stronger together, a new keyword. Tactical 1, they're special forces. They do have Surge to block. So, but still health only 1. No, these guys look very, very cool. And notice their blaster pistols can be used in melee as well. So I like that. I like that a lot. So they have some cool options. Like the Mandalorians look like they're going to be really fun. Hardest part is going to be figuring out a paint scheme. That's gonna, that's gonna be really fun. I love painting armor. I love painting Mandalorians. So I'm looking forward to these quite a bit. Also, with a new army comes new customizable leaders. So you're getting a customizable leader and a customizable hunter as your command and operative versions of these. We get different types of backpack. We got kind of like the Boba Fett style backpack. We got like the Din Djarin style backpack. We've got vibroblades. We've got long guns. We've got short guns. We've got like 4 different helmet options. It looks like we can do like the Mandalorian spiked helmets, rangefinder on there, all kinds of different options, which does look very cool. So if you've seen any of the other customizable boxes, dude, these are going to be sweet. I think people are going to want to buy multiples of these just for the customization options alone. They look really cool. I love it. It's like printing money at this point. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. And then there's going to be a Mandalorian leaders box. Now, out of those factions that we've talked about, there's really 2 that are more new to the game, and then like the other ones like already have stuff in the game, like Clan Saxon, for example. Gar Saxon's already in the game. So is Rook Cast, right? And those can work, in probably a couple of different ways. And because they can be with Maul or they can be with Clan Saxon, aka like pre-Death Watch. I do feel like there'll probably be a Death Watch box at some point. I mean, how can you not do pre-Vizsla eventually? Of course, of course that's coming. Probably not ready for announcement yet. Now these guys, they did also say that these guys aren't going to be getting new stuff every week, right? It's going to be new things aren't off the table, but they're not going to have like the same release schedule as the 4 main factions, but they can still get new things from time to time. Of course, I'd imagine, a Death Watch box or something like that would be on the, or a pre-Vizsla box or something like that. Or maybe just a Battle Force box that has pre-Vizsla in it or something like that. I think things like that will come, and there is something else that's coming, and we'll talk about that more in here in a minute, in the sky. Very cool stuff coming. But yes, so in the Mandalorian leaders, it's Clan Kryze, and then the Covert, the Mandalorian Covert, from what we see in the Mandalorian led by the Armorer, that is going to have a leaders box. So in this box, out of the 4, 2 of them are going to be Axe Woves and Bo-Katan Kryze. This is going to be pretty cool. Honestly, I'm just really happy to finally have Bo-Katan. Considering that her helmet is off here, I think you're going to be able to build her helmet on or helmet off. Be kind of cool to magnetize the head so you can swap it, because, again, recently rewatching some of this, like she's even given the blessing by the Armorer. Yeah, you go ahead and take your helmet off. You can walk both worlds. It's like, it's a big moment too, that like she's given full, like, yeah, go ahead. You have my blessing. It's kind of cool. And then the Armorer and Paz Vizsla also in there, and they look really good. And I'm really curious to see more about these keywords like "this is the way" or "Mandalorians are stronger together" or "we fight for family" like Clan Ren and stuff like that. There's a lot of really cool things that they can do here. These guys are going to be so fun. Paz Vizsla, by the way, the GOAT. I'm just going to say that right now. The GOAT. This whole set, everything about the Mandalorians and how they're doing it and what they've announced is just pure fire. It's insane. I love it. And they will have free Battle Force documents that you can check out. Now, they posted these on their website, but they did kind of blur out a lot of this stuff, so I'm not going to read too much into trying to read through a lot of the blurry text. But there's going to be some cool stuff, a lot of print and play things. It's going to be glorious. It's just going to be glorious. Oh, it's great. It's great. And air support. So they teased us with this by showing us the Fang Fighter in the Mandalorian video. Let's talk about this a little bit. This thing is gorgeous. It's big. Real big. They didn't have one in the display case, but like with talking with some of the AMG folks, they're kind of like, yeah, it's going to be big. I've had people do hand gestures you can kind of see right there. You could do the math from the image, but like this isn't, the Fang Fighter isn't the only one. By the way, that is a Fang Fighter, not a Gauntlet. The key difference is the Gauntlet is bigger than the Millennium Falcon. It's very big, and that's the one where the wings go up, like they go when they go to land, right? This one, the wings can spin around. I don't know if they're going to spin around, but in the show Star Wars Rebels, when we first see them, Concord Dawn Protectorate, so on and so forth, that's where we get those. That's where those kind of show up. So that's gonna be fun. Speaking of Concord Dawn and Star Wars Rebels, there's also certain other Mandalorians from that episode that probably need to show up in here at some point. Also, maybe just be for the Rebels, or maybe have a little bit. Oh gosh, there's so much I could see. Yeah. I'll come back to that. I don't want to speculate too much because I feel like there's a whole lot of what is next for the Mandalorians that could fit into a whole nother video, and I could easily drag this on for an hour's worth of discussion. So let's compartmentalize that, talk about that in the future. Let me know what Mandalorians you want to see next down in the comments section, by the way. That would be a really cool one. Also, a new base on this. Like, you see that? I always thought that Starfighters or StarCraft, if they did come to StarCraft, different game, space air support, right, that they would show up as like a little bit smaller than their normal scale, because like you're looking up, you don't see an X-Wing at its full size. It's going to be a little bit smaller because it's so far up in the sky. So I thought it would have kind of been reverse perspective, but it might have worked if you did, you know, smaller X-Wings, smaller Fang Fighters, and stuff like that. By the way, we also know there's a couple of other leaks of the other thing. Now, we do know that there's one coming for every faction. But so far, like, it's already been taught. It's kind of already been all over the internet if you haven't seen it yet. But it looks like the Republic is going to get a V-Wing, and the Separatists are going to be getting a Vulture droid. While the Empire hasn't leaked theirs yet, it's almost certainly going to be a TIE Fighter, but maybe not. Like, it could, like, they could do a TIE Bomber. They could do, you know, something else. Like a TIE Fighter probably makes the most sense. I also think that with the other thing they talked about is that at this roadmap is that next year at Adepticon they're going to do the Masters of the Brush, which is going to be the first ever Star Wars painting competition at Adepticon, hosted by AMG. And there's never been a better time to drop this air support than to have people kind of bring this next year to Adepticon. This is going to be absolutely spectacular. I'm really looking forward to this. It could be glorious, glorious, glorious. I love this, dude. Very, very happy that they're doing this. So this is cool. And I like the way that base still lets units kind of move in and around it and stuff like that. And apparently there's more to this that they haven't shown us yet. I think that we are going to get... I wonder if those little legs like kind of move to kind of make it easier for other units to kind of move around there and stuff like that. I wonder how they did this, because it's a whole new type of base. They had to create this from the ground up. It looks absolutely spectacular. I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see more. I love it. All right, we'll move forward. Again, they already confirmed this is the new symbol, by the way. It's kind of like the Heavy, but it has the wings on the bottom as well as on the top. So that's kind of what the air support symbol looks like. I'm also curious to how this is going to work in full-scale war, which is the new 2,000-point mode that is also going to be coming out. I did a whole video on that, so I'm not going to rehash that too much, but I'm curious how air support is going to fit into all of these things. It looks very excited. So here's the timeline for everything that's going to be coming out between 2026 and 2027. We are also going to be getting a little bit more information here very soon. As a matter of fact, it'll be next week on Tuesday. They're doing a developer update live stream April 21st. Now, I normally always do a watch party for these things. This time, I am almost certainly not going to be able to do it. I'll be traveling for work, so I'm not going to be able to, but I'll bring you my thoughts afterwards. But I'm not going to be able to host the watch party this time. Next time for sure, but not this time. So whenever Mini Stravaganza comes around, I'll probably still be doing that. But this is just one of those times where I'm not able to do the watch party. If something changes between now and then, I'll let you know, but it's probably not going to happen. So you can check that out over on their Twitch channel, and it'll be a good time. I expect a lot of points updates, maybe a little bit more. Maybe they'll kind of show us a little bit more of air support, talk a little bit about the bases. I'm curious what's going to get points updates, but I'm also curious about a lot of things, like how many air supports can we fit in a standard army? You know, and of course there will have to be a battle force. If it's only one, as some people have suggested, you know, like how many X-Wings can you really have in a game of Star Wars Legion? 2 would be cool. And maybe there will be a battle force that has more than one. I always thought like a Rogue One battle force, that would be a really cool thing to add, to have a couple of X-Wings providing support, because the idea is Rogue One was very few guys up against a much larger adversary. How thematic would it be to have a Rogue One battle force that has 2 X-Wings as air support? Or a U-Wing? Although a U-Wing would be a little bit different, because U-Wings aren't necessarily just zipping around the battlefield like an X-Wing would be. U-Wings are actually landing, so they would function more like a helicopter, how like the speeders, or how rather the regular hover units do. I feel like a U-Wing could do either one. Or maybe it transforms, you know, when the wings go in and out. I don't know. They haven't confirmed a U-Wing. I don't think they're going to do a U-Wing. I think a U-Wing would be a little too big, but if they did, that would be super cool. So, yes, very, very exciting. There's so much coming. And between Mandalorians, between the air support, and then all the other things, new battle forces, new battle force boxes, with the Empire getting, you know, 2 new units. Savage Opress finally coming, like a new unit coming into Shadow Collective is also cool. And also that the High Council box, there's so much. It looks great. I'm very excited. Let me know what you're most excited about in the comment section below. You can also join our Discord. Keep the party going there. You can also check out some awesome discounts in the description below if you want to save 15% on mats and accessories over at Game Toppers, or if you want to save on Battle Foam. We've got code Crabbok15 for Game Toppers and code Crabbok VIP for Battle Foam. You can check those out, and the links are in the description below. And that's going to do it for me. I will talk to you guys later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all. And always wash your socks.